Hey everyone, how are we doing today? I hope we're doing well. It's Thursday, the 15th, not 25th. I can speak words, I can speak English. How are we all doing? I really, genuinely, I hope we're all doing well. Very excited to get back into the game, as it will. Yeah, nothing to report today. It's a really chill day. I realize I have a lot of weird negative emotions that I really need to work through. But anyway, we are gonna get started and get into our game. So let me load up the game and make sure y'all can finally see this. Look at my adorable boys! Okay, so last time we played this, we went on a hunt with dear old, dear old Ford. Our love meter with Ford has gone up a bit, so I'm very excited about that. Now we're about to play D&D and more D, aka Dungeons, and more Dungeons. I know this is based off Dungeons and Dragons, and I've always wanted to play, but God knows I get overwhelmed playing, or at least the idea of playing Dungeons and Dragons, purely because there's so many things that you can do in terms of building a character, and I get overwhelmed by all of that because I'm like, I don't make decisions great, so we'll see what happens. Okay. Oh, I'm nervous, but we are gonna play. Okay. Oh man, there are so many rules. Where to start? I mean, it's really easy to pick up. It's even kind of popular now. You're not sure about committing the whole afternoon to this game with Ford, though Dipper does seem pretty excited about it. But Stan's around too, and you wanted to go check on your car. Look at this little dork with his little, I think he actually has a mullet now. And I'm like, oh, they're adorable. And I do actually want to play the game with them, but I also want to check on my car. Decisions. I think I'm gonna play the game though. Well, think about it, Kai. Dipper, my boy, why don't you and I get things set up in the meantime? I am curious to see what Dipper is like as a DM, Dungeon Master. So, I think I'm gonna play. We have to. I very much settled on the Ford route. I love me an intellectual man. I also have a weird thing with glasses, so let's go. I do wonder why he never gets the crack on his glasses fixed. It's just there, very obvious. Wouldn't that, the crack there kind of destroy the integrity of the glass itself, or the eyes? I don't know. We'll see. Ford and Dipper launch into fantasy lore talk as they prop up a corkboard against the yellow armchair, pin up various maps and floor plans with important landmarks, and upend their pouches of dice onto the carpet. How many dice are there for D&D and MD? I am very curious. I'm gonna join the game! I have to! I've committed to this route! Even though technically it's the only second event, but I've committed to this route. I need to romance Ford. I want to also see if I can get as many of the watercolor pictures with Ford, because look at this man. Look at this cutie patootie. You can't say no to him, right? Or is that just me? I feel like that might be a me thing. Who knows? Dipper, great! Is that supposed to be a little pimple on his chin? I just noticed that now. It's just like a tiny dot, right there. And I'm like, aw, he really is 13 going through puberty. Sucks for you, not me anymore. Okay. Oh, shoot. Did you look at the plans earlier? Those for the Dungeon Master's eyes only. If only I'd known you were gonna join us. I don't know what fucking voice I'm giving Dipper right now. Honestly, I'm gonna make him feel better. I didn't look. What a relief. No, wait! What if you're lying to get an edge of the game? Is this legal? Grunkle Ford? What? I didn't hear. I was just categorizing these D&D and MD books. How many volumes do they have these days? I'm not even giving a voice to Ford. I'm literally just reading. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Poor Dipper is still a nervous wreck, but I think he's cute enough that it's fine. Oh, I think it's meant to be not like a pimple. I think it's meant to be a little shadow for where his lips would be. I think that's what's happening. I don't know for sure, but there are more shadows in this than the actual thing. So, all right. Dipper and Ford put the final pieces in their place. The floor is encircled with a mix of propped up cork boards, books, maps, notes, and loose leaf paper. Ford unfolds a game board in the center of the madness. Okay, I am a little nervous. We'll see how well this goes. I hope it goes well. Fingers crossed, y'all. Brilliant! We're all ready. Don't look so nervous, Kai. You'll have me here to walk you through it. Oh. This is a big step for us in this relationship, that we're actually going to play a board game together. I feel like if you really want to know what your significant other is like, play a board game with them. It tells you how competitive they are, how seriously they take things. Even if it's like something mundane, like you can see how competitive people are. You really get to know a lot about a person as you play a board game with them. Playing them with friends especially, you can find out a lot of information, and it's like whether or not you'll see this as like a red flag or maybe not. Because if they take themselves too seriously and get way too in the game and even more competitive, maybe that's not that guy for you. But we're taking some big steps right now. Okay, I feel like I should shut up and actually just play the game. You know, we'll go. Ford sits down next to the board game. To the game board. I can read, barely. He pats the piece of carpet next to him, inviting you to sit. And you do. Dipper sits across from you, on the other side of the game board, and unfolds an illustrated piece of cardboard, propping it up in front of him. Aww. He notices your questioning gaze on it and looks back at you. Oh yeah, this is the Dungeon Master's screen. It's just there to protect my secrets. It hides essential dice rolls and plot points from the prying player's eyes. I'm not giving a voice to Ford. I feel like I should, but I feel like it's also gonna kill my throat if I try. It's fine. Grunkle Ford tried to look ahead once or twice and spoiled a narrative twist. And you were the only player, Ford! Buddy! Honey, it's not... You're taking the fun out of it for you, man. Yeah, like, no, don't spoil the fun. For yourself? It's fine. I'm just making sure my dungeon mastering apprentice stays on his toes. You can never be too vigilant. Dipper gathers up his dice in a pile next to the DM screen, ready to roll when needed. We're just sitting on the floor, crisscross applesauce. See, this actually makes me miss playing board games with friends. I remember having so much fun. Granted, we mostly did card games versus, like, full-on, like, D&D stuff. But, God, I miss that. I miss that sometimes. Probably call them up one day and see what we can do for games. Just as a fun thing to do. We'll see. Now, I mentioned an extra dice set, didn't I? Dice are important, though by no means essential component of gameplay. No adventurer should leave the house without a set. I keep mine in this souvenir velvet dice bag from a local game store. Yes. Ford, you almost slipped up there. I feel like eventually you have to trust me enough to tell me the truth, right? If this romance is gonna work out between us, Ford Z, you're gonna have to tell me the truth eventually, right? Am I the only one that thinks that has to happen at some point, right? Okay. It's fine. We'll get there when we get there. Ford retrieves a dark drawstring bag from his coat and empties it onto the floor, where dice of all shapes and sizes come tumbling out. He just has everything in his coat. Like, it's just an infinite pocket dimension in that coat of his. Where are you hiding this? I want to know. And now for yours. Ford pulls another matching drawstring bag from the depths of his coat. Jesus, okay. They were having a buy one get one discount. Go ahead, take a look. These will be yours for the session. Oh, I get fancy ones. Okay. I wonder what his look like now. Because you pour these dice onto the carpet as well. Metallic gold with numbers embossed in black. We get gold dice with black letters. Or black numbers. That's cool. Now I want to know what his dice look like. Fancy. While I didn't have enough to make them from solid gold, I was able to electroplate a set for fun. What is electroplate? I don't think I'm smart enough to know what electroplate is. Electroplate. Electroplated gold. Electroplated gold plating is a technique where a thin layer of gold, usually between 0.25 and 2.5 microns thick, is applied to the surface of a metal or other material. Electroplating is a chemical process that enhances the material's appearance and durability while also providing corrosion resistance. So essentially, you take the gold itself, put it onto something else, and it should make it look like it's a fully gold thing, but not actually being solid gold. That's just how my understanding is. But okay, cool. For fun. Great Uncle Ford, you electroplated those dice? They're so nice. That didn't mean to rhyme. Maybe you should be the one with the Maybe you should be the one with the rapping career, not Jane Gnomesy. Ford and Dipper laugh. I'm funny to them. Yay! Making progress. Yeah, maybe not. But anyway, let me reintroduce our characters. Dipper clears his throat, settling into the Dungeon Master persona. When we last left our heroes, Miv the Meddling trapped the great elven wizard Virhin and his halfling fighter Tyros in a dungeon filled to the brim with puzzles, riddles, and brain teasers. To reach Miv and end this journey once and for all, they'll have to brave the dungeon's mysteries and escape with their lives intact. Okay, this is so hard to read out loud. Guys, I'm actually struggling to read this out loud. I can't explain why. Dipper sets two figurines side by side on the game board. One is an imposing figure in flowing robes, and the other is much shorter in comparison, but posed with the will to prove himself. You suppose the former is Viren, and the latter is Tyros. Wasn't one of the names that Dipper always wanted for himself was Tyrone, and that's why he named Dipper 2, aka his clone, Tyrone? So I guess for this, fantasy name of Tyrone would be Tyros. I don't know why, the Heron? I don't know. Okay, Ford. Interesting name, though. But what would our two heroes find in the first room of the dungeon but a potential ally, just as trapped as they are, who will join them in their quest for freedom? Hey, we're the third figure. Yay, okay. Dipper places three figurines on the carpet, just off the side of the game board. And you get to choose your character now, Kai. These are starters with pre-made templates, so they're good for short notice editions like this. Aw. What should I do? What do you think I should do? Because personally, I'm kind of between the human bard or a dwarf fighter? Sorry, I'm not a rogue. I kind of want to go human bard because I love music. I'm also really digging the music in the background right now. Yeah, I feel like if I were to actually make my own D&D character, I'm gonna go with a bard. I don't know if I would do human, but I like the idea of a bard. I feel like if I was in Owl House, I actually would have gone on like the bard track, the music track. I think that's fun. That's the me thing. Bards use invigorating song to encourage their allies, or the blow of their insults to damage their enemies. That's funny. I like that. I've kind of reevaluated my stance on bards lately. You'll come in handy if we encounter any undead. No! Karaoke, because you can defeat the zombies that you rise from the dead with a perfect 3-part harmony. Man, this is really testing my knowledge of the show, whether or not I remember this stuff. And I'm like, oh, wait, I do! I'm proud of myself for it. I'm not gonna lie. Quite proud of that. But let's go. Shall we? Maybe. Hey, stop trying to play ahead. Yes, I want to be a human bard. I don't care about anything else. I want the human bard. Dipper moves your figurine onto the board, besides Heron and Tyros. Alright, what's their name going to be? Fuck. Dipper moves your figurine onto the... Sorry, let me just... There we go. Alex, short for Alexandria. Alexandrios. It took me 3 tries to get this. Alexandria. No, Alexandria. Alexandrios. Okay. What words? You herefor trying Alexandrios out under his breath a few times. Oh, shoot! Wait, I actually have... Oh, shit. Halfling fighter for Tyros. Oh. A lot of strength, a lot of constitution. Dexterity is bad. I am quite, like, average. My wisdom is my weakest one. But charisma, yeah. Elven warrior. Of course, it's dexterity, constitution, and intelligence. That's... Why did you put yourself as, like, such low charisma? Forward. I have a loot, 5 candles, 2 costumes, water skin, disguise kit, rations, mystic amulet, hourglass, jade pendant, and golden flower bell. Wait, what happened? We'll just call them Alex. Here's your character sheet. It's got all the info on it. Our heroes encounter Alexandrios, Alex for short, in the first room of the dungeon. Alex, what's your deal with our main villain, Miv the Meddling? What do you think I should do? Miv murdered my family and now I seek revenge. Miv promised me eternal glory but left a dagger in my back instead. I just woke up here with a headache and Ford helped me. I like the first 2 more than I like the last 2. I kind of want the first one a little more than the second one. Where it's like, he murdered my family. Now I seek revenge against Miv the Meddling. The eternal glory thing, I don't know. I don't really care for that. This feels more my vibe. Yeah, this feels more my vibe. Let's go. Alex explains how they struck Miv's ire, and in turn Tyro shares that Miv once bested him in a duel. An embarrassment because Miv is a sorcerer, and sorcerers aren't known for their physical combat skills. In Tyro's defense, he was still young at the time. But none of this matters, Because to finally face down Miv, they must escape. Oh! We actually get to see what it looks like. This is cute. So that's Stan's thing. That's Mabel's, obviously. Little smiley face and the rat, cute. This door, huh? Interesting. So obviously this has to be Dipper's because the pine tree is in the middle. But you have the two question marks, which I assume would be Seuss, because Seuss is the question mark. The bottom here is Mabel's symbol, which is the shooting star. But then you have the alien. And what's most interesting is the top is a yellow triangle with a circle in the middle that's white. Which usually just means it's Bill. That's an interesting reason to have. Yeah, the stained glass windows. This has to be Ford. 6 with the handprint. Anything else? Also, the sides also being hands going down like this. The bottom here it's the portal that Ford came out of. And then at the top is Bill again. For Mabel's, it's really simple. Rainbow's going down. It's all pink, like the nice little transition from a light pink to a dark pink, which contrasts Dipper's going from a light blue, well, dark blue, to an orange. Interesting. Obviously, her symbol, shooting star, the smiley face makes sense. I can't tell what's there in the right-hand corner. The left-hand corner is, I think, a mouse. Or it's Waddles the pig. Stan's interesting. You have the blue up top here that almost looks like waves. Going into Stan's symbol, the whole thing looks like the boat, which, yeah, because Stan always wanted to be able to go sailing with his brother. Now he can do that. And then, the little sides of the boat where it makes up that little strip, it's 2 money. Like, it looks like a yellow, like, dollar money thing. It even has little markings. And then you have Stan's tattoo. That's interesting. Then at the top here, we have the symbol of Bill on the left side, right here. The triangle with the eye, and it looks like there's possibly a top hat. And then contrast to the Bill symbol, it's Stanley's symbol, which is the little circle with like the fish-like thing about to eat it. It's interesting. Then at the end, there's a lot of triangles in this, which is interesting to say. I realize I'm using the word interesting a lot, but like, Red doors, there's arrows pointing at both sides with 3 circles in the middle. Okay. Right. Behind you is a plain door. On the far side of the room is a set of red windows. To the left and right are old stained glass windows with weirdly familiar motifs on them. Having woken up here with no recollection of getting here at all, you have no way of knowing which door you came in, should go out of, or even what direction you should head in at all. And now you guys decide what you want to do. You might want to look around first. Oh, okay. Ford. And by that, of course, we mean rolling a dice to see if you can notice anything. The outcome of nearly every substantial choice we make is tied to a roll of the dice. I'll let you choose what to do here, Kai. We're gonna take a look around. That feels right to me. Ford shows you what to roll for the investigation check, and Dipper flips through his notebook, ready to tell you what you see. Oh, I don't even get to see what the roll looks like? Okay. Huh, nice roll. Tacked to one of the walls of this room is a note that says, "Proceed with caution, homies." Tyros pockets the note. It's right there in between the Stan one and Mabel. Okay. Tyros pockets the note, and in the distance you hear a faint sound of rushing water. What do you do next? Um, What's the state of the door behind us? See for yourself. I'm still the DM. I can't respond unless you check the door. Ford casts Detect Magic and, after confirming with Dipper that there is no magic behind the door, pushes it open. The three of you leave through the door. Nice. Oh, we're back. We're back here. As the last of you step through the doorway, it melts, seeping into the wall as if it was never there. Guess we're not going back that way. The chandelier overhead ignites, casting the room in a warm orange glow and revealing an impressive door on the far wall. In front of it is a large cloth-covered lump. I'm gonna take a look around. I need to know what's here. You roll for investigation just like earlier. You approach it to inspect it. As your footsteps grow nearer, the lump shifts, rising to reveal that it is in fact a goblin. The goblin stands to attention and tries to pretend it was never asleep. Okay. I want to see what happens here. Travelers, I notice thee, and I demand you answer these riddles 3. Do I answer the riddles? I want to insult. I want to insult him. But I also want to answer him. I'm gonna insult him. I think it's funny. I'll let you do that, but only if you actually say what insult you're going to use. I would, but it's not kid-friendly. I would, but it's not kid-friendly. Dipper makes a half-horrified face, but Ford laughs. Dipper, how about Kai tells me and I'll be the judge? I'll be completely impartial. Dipper seems like he's trying to think of a non-kid-friendly insult himself when he gives Ford the go-ahead. And you write your finely crafted insult on paper and hand it to Ford. He raises a brow. Not half bad. Oh, not bad. Half damage with a chance to score a critical hit. Take the D38 and the D10. And you rolled. That's a definitive success. Wow! I did it, guys. I insulted the goblin. Let's go. I love that for me. Okay. The goblin breaks down into tears and vanishes, as if he'd been teleported out of there. With the goblin gone, all that remains is the door. I cast Detect Magic the door. The door is steeped in magical energy, and you suspect it's what's keeping the door closed. You follow the energy back to its source, a brass knocker in the shape of a lion's head, which begins speaking. To unlock what lies beyond, tell me, what is it you desire? Which one of us is it talking to? Oh, it's looking at me! The lion's head looks past Viren and Tyros and towards Alex, its eyes glowing ruby red. What is it you desire? I desire nothing. We'll see how it goes. The lion's head is deeply offended. Nobody wants nothing. But if you say so, then my purpose is futile. Begone, homies. The door swings open and... God, I'm gonna say this wrong every time. Viren, Tyros, and Alex step forward into the next room. What made you choose that answer? I couldn't think of anything that was sure to benefit the party as a whole, instead of just my character. So, I forfeited my choice. Nothing was actually the answer I was looking for. You solved my lion's head puzzle, Kai. Oh, hey. Okay, guys, I'm a little nervous about what's gonna happen next. I hope I do this for proud. As soon as you enter this next room, the wall melds into the doorway, sealing you in. Glancing around, the far wall of the room seems to be a different material and color than the rest, though it could just be the lighting. To the left, you see rows of keys affixed to the wall. I'm inspecting the keys. I want to know what the keys are about. After inspecting and interacting with the keys for a few minutes, you come to realize a few things. There are 26 keys, and you can touch them to make them glow. You can only touch 6 of the keys at a time, and once 7 are touched, all keys fade to their original color. Each key is labeled with integers that run consecutively from 1 to 26, starting from the leftmost key. Okay, so it's like the alphabet. What are we trying to spell out? Looks like we'll need a password for this one, Kai. If the puzzle is fair, it must be a word we've already been introduced to. One that stands out. Fuck. You think back to that first room when Tyros pocketed the note from the first room of the dungeon. What was that word again? Proceed with caution, homies. Homies seems to be the thing that keeps going on, right? Homies. I'm gonna go with homies. That feels right to me, and I don't know what that last option was anyway. Because the things that proceed with caution, homies. The lion said, "Be gone, homies." So, homies has to be the thing, right? It's the one thing that's been repeated. Or nothing from the lion's head clue, but I don't think you would do that twice. You spell out homies, and all the keys illuminate in unison and disappear. Oh, we got a green glass door. Okay, the room rumbles, and you turn around to find a green glass door. Walking up to get a closer look, you see that engraved on this door is a riddle. Oh man, I'm bad with riddles. Guys, I'm not smart. The door reads, if you go into the green glass door, you can bring a ball but not a bat. You can bring a book but you can't bring a novel. You can bring coffee but not tea. You can bring letters but you can't bring numbers. If you wish to pass, you must present an acceptable offering. Interesting one, Dipper. Let's think. A ball but not a bat. I think I understand. Hi, what could you bring through the door? A ball but not a bat. A book but not a novel. Coffee but not tea. Letters but not numbers. I want to say hourglass. I'm gonna go hourglass. I might be wrong. Who knows? I offer my Baron's Book of Spells. And Tyros offers his cutlass. The door dissolves, letting the party pass through. Oh! Oh, I got that right? Shit. While Dipper's flipping through his notebook for the next part in the dungeon, Ford nudges you, holding up a hand for a high 6. I had a feeling. Quite proud of that, too. It was a nice job, Kai. I'm impressed you got the riddle. He's impressed. We understand. I was confused for a moment. But okay. Is it hot in here? Or is it just a side effect of the green glass door disintegrating? You high six forward, beaming, as Dipper finds the page he needs to continue the game. The green glass door swings open. You go through to freedom. Fuck. No. No, I have to go. Damn it. I can't go back, can I? Damn it. You go through to freedom. And there it is, the end of the dungeon. It cut it down a bit on the fly. I didn't want to make it too long. I would have ran a murder mystery I've had planned out for ages, but my test runs have never, gone very well with my focus group. So, what did you think? So what happens next? When do you fight the sorcerer? This was actually a transition into the next super plot-centric campaign about infiltrating the sorcerer's tower castle. What we're gonna do is save this one, but I'm gonna go back. Dipper shows you a couple of pages of his campaign book, which looks to be filled with various dungeon sketches and realistic physics calculations crowded into every spare space. Well, Dipper, I think you did well. It's not easy adding an extra player on short notice like that. I always write it in just in case. Not completely, but just a few notes. So here's what's gonna happen, y'all. I'm gonna redo this because I found out that there is a way of getting the gallery picture for this. So I'm gonna go back and do it. It's fine. I just want to see what this gallery picture is. Gonna join their game. Didn't look. I'm gonna try to go for the same route, but this time I'm gonna see what happens if I answered wrong. So. Okay. I pulled up the walkthrough because I really want to make sure that I get all the gallery pictures. I want to know what the gallery pictures right. So I have to pick anything other than the hourglass. How on earth did I know it was the hourglass? I can't explain that. I like my nerds. No, guys, I want to make sure I get my pictures. I'm still going with the bard. Let's see what else is here. Fighters are hardy, brash, and know how to pack a punch. Another fighter, huh? You might need that. Wizards can be kinda squishy. My wizard has extra points in Constitution. You glance at Ford's character sheet and see that while Ford's wizard might be a bit buffer than normal, he's still a little low on wisdom. Rose can move around with stealth and know how to pick both pockets and locks. Man, I can say words. I'm still gonna go with the bard. Murdered my family. We're gonna inspect. Take a look around. Nice. I'm gonna take a look around. I'm gonna insult the goblin because I like the insult a lot. I think it's really funny if I do an insult the goblin. I have to get this wrong apparently to get the picture. I like having the walkthrough up as I play the game, just because I'm like, if I want to guarantee a good ending for myself, or at least getting all the pictures, I'm gonna do it. Nothing. It's nothing. I inspect the keys, and I'm gonna go with homies. Nothing happens. Ah! I got the picture! Fuck yes, let's go. You glance at Ford to notice he was watching you figure out the puzzle the entire time, even if you weren't too good at it. Before you make eye contact with him, he turns his head, facing back at the game board on the floor, and... Great Uncle Ford, are you okay? Oh, he's blushing and he's sweating. Hmm? Oh yes, Dipper, I'm fine. But then, why is your face so red? You take a second look then, and find that Ford indeed looks a little red. Ford stammers his way through. It's a little warm in here. If you ask if he's alright. You guess wearing a turtleneck in the summer will do that to a guy. Oh no, he's not a mullet, it's just a regular hair. But Dipper raises his brow at you both, surprised. He writes something down in the margins of his notebook before clearing his throat to continue the campaign. The green glass door swings open and you go through. To freedom. So if I did Hourglass the first time... So Hourglass the first time just lets us go through freedom. But doing... What was the option I picked? The last one, right? Oh, what did you think? So Hourglass was the right answer the first time around, but we wanted to get the wrong answer at least. Oh, no, I needed to do at least one wrong answer before I actually did a decent answer for that. Cool. Good to know. So, what did you think? Okay. So, what happens next? When do we fight the sorcerer? This was actually a transition into this next super plot-centric campaign about infiltrating the sorcerer's tower castle. Okay, Dipper shows you a couple of pages from his campaign book, which looks to be filled with various dungeon sketches and very realistic physics calculations crowded into every spare space. It's cute. Well, Dipper, I think you did well. It's not... Okay, so it's the same thing. It's just... First you give the wrong answer and like, no, that's not it. Nothing happens. Oh, maybe this. Okay. I always write it just in case. Not completely, but just a few notes. Ford and Dipper launch into a conversation about dungeon mastering as you clean up the DD&MD setup. Or DD&MD. That's fun. Returning the game components into their original glossy fantasy box. They're too fast in practice for you to figure out how to help, so you just pick up the dice Ford lent you and return them to their original velvet bag. Why am I having so much trouble speaking? Dipper leaves to put the damned the damned box back upstairs, and then it's just you and Ford. Kai, you did well for a first-timer. I'd take you into a dungeon with me. I mean... Aw, thanks, hun. I appreciate that so much. Ford gives you an embarrassed smile, but you're already smiling at him yourself. I know what you meant. Thanks, Ford. A call comes from the kitchen, from what sounds like Stan. Well, I talk more, but I'd better see what he needs. Ford moves past you, heading towards the kitchen. You suddenly feel the need to hold on to this moment. Like, you need to say something. Ford? Yes? Now that he's looking at you again, you don't remember what you were going to say. All you say is, um, here's your set of dice back. Thanks for letting me use it. Ford chuckles, shaking his head. Oh no, can you actually see him? No. You can't see your boy. I gotta move this goddamn thing. Yeah. I've made myself smaller so we can see your boy. Although, if I put myself down here, the only thing that's gonna cover up is like their little... Yeah, the only thing that's gonna be covered up if I put myself down here is just that you won't be able to see their little symbol, but you know who's talking because it still has their names. So, yeah. Oh shit, I put myself way too far. Ah! I'm transitioning! Yes! Alright, so I did that. Fun. I love getting this. Ford chuckles, shaking his head. No, you keep it. In case you decide to join us again next time. See you at dinner, Kai. Ah! Yes! We did it! I love the little frown, it's funny. Okay. Day 3! Okay. Someone thumps their fist on the storage room door, stirring you from sleep with a jolt and a thud as you fall off the mattress. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Something like that. That was a lot more sound than expected. Sorry. And then you're like, ah! Scrambling to your feet, you step over to the door and swing it open wide. Kai, I need your help! It's at that moment you look down to see Waddle swaddled in her arms, wearing a top hat and a small bow tie. Why is Waddle looking so dapper? He does look pretty dashing, doesn't he? Oh, I love Mabel so much. Wait, we're not here to dish out compliments. There's an emergency. Oh, can you actually read the damn thing? Here we go. I feel better about that. Do you feel better about that? I feel better. I love emergency. Oh no. Mabel stares up at you with wide eyes as her little kid arms unmoving as Waddles attempts to wriggle free from her grasp. This kid's stronger than she looks. Knowing Mabel, this could mean she has a new crush. From what Dipper's told you, she's still deeply rooted in her boy crazy phase. Or she desperately wants to wed Waddles to some unsuspecting creature outside. Waddles and Gompers are renewing their vows today, and I can't find Gompers to put his gown on. You gotta help me find him. Wow, that's crazy. But, alright, cool. Happy to help you, Mabel. Anytime. I love you so much. Honestly, one of my favorite characters from this show. Mabel Defender for life. Oh man, this is not loaded. There we go. You weren't actually expecting your second guess to be right. Okay, wait. Mabel, just calm down a sec. We have to find Gompers! The ceremony's in 20 minutes! Waddles wiggles himself free and runs down the hallway to freedom, ignoring Mabel's shriek of protest as she chases him. You're compelled to go back to bed, deciding this is almost definitely a dream. But jog after Mabel regardless. Oh! You catch sight of Mabel just as she leaps over Dipper, who's sitting on the floor with a large array of graph paper and chewed pencils. She runs to the back door, suspiciously open after Waddles' snorting self, yelling at him not to lose his tie. Mabel, what's going on? Waddles wedding gompers? You're a little out of breath. Mabel's fast. Dipper smacks a hand to his forehead, dragging it down his face dramatically. Of course. She told me they're renewing vows or something. They got married last summer, but she misses the pizzazz of weddings. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm gonna move myself yet again so that we can see more. I'm struggling. Where should I go? What do I do? I'm not gonna make something entirely new. There we go. A little better. Dipper looks nonplussed, but you can tell he's at least a little invested. Are you gonna help her with whatever that was? Okay. I don't even know what's going on, or I don't even want to imagine this marriage failing. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the second one. I think it's funnier if I'm like, I can't even imagine this marriage failing. Especially since Mabel put so much thought into this. And with that, you run past him. Dipper stutters of surprise, growing fainter as you head outside. Hey. Mabel's already a ways away when you burst out of the shack's backyard. Fortunately, Stan and Ford are nowhere in sight. You're not sure what you'd think of them finding you searching for a goat bride, as Mabel calls out to lure Gompers home. Come on! Gompers! I already booked the second honeymoon, and the caterers are gonna be mad! Runaway brides are so cliche! God, it hurts to try to go that high again. Ew. She's seriously invested in this farm critter marriage. That, or she's watched way too many dramatic romance movies. Or both. Same, Mabel, same. Gompers? Come on, goat pal. Where are you? You hear Dipper head towards Mabel to help her look, so you veer opposite, opting to cover more ground in search of the runaway goat bride. Where should we look? Let's look under the foundation. You duck onto your knees and look under the house. There's a large hole that leads somewhere underground, but you figure Gompers isn't down there if that's Ford's Illustrations basement. No, it's not illustration. If that's Ford's illustrious basement Dipper's gushed about. On the roof? You walk backwards and put a hand to your brow, shielding your eyes from the sun as you search the scaffolding of the shack. Nothing. You continue, walking to the side now until rays of sunlight obscure the view above the sign for the gift shop. Rather serendipitously, I can't say words. You know what I mean. It's right there. I'm not saying this again. Brain's not braining, which is fun. A cloud glides overhead to block the sun, and you're able to look higher, seeing the misspelled lettering, the various wear and tear in the roof, and a small billy goat munching on the part of the weather vane. Wait. Hey, Mabel? Yeah? You point up to the roof at Gompers. Here comes the bride. Mabel shrieks, "Gompers!" and sprints into the gift shop, slamming the door so hard the open sign flips to close. There's a silence. There's silence for a moment. Then something flips open on the roof's small balcony, and Mabel pops out from underneath, climbing up onto the roof and attempting to coax Gompers down. Oh my god. There's a ladder up to that little balcony thing inside the gift shop. It's pretty cool for fireworks. Mabel pulls a sandwich from her sleeve. You can't help but imagine what else she has up there. And waves it in Gomper's direction, and he trots towards the balcony, hopping down to Mabel's level and snatching the sandwich from her hand. She grabs the goat and heads back down the ladder into the gift shop. Oh, Gompers, you can't get the pre-wedding jitters anymore. You're already married. You can't get away that easily. Thanks a billion, Kai. You saved the wedding. Oh my god. Man, preteen voice hurts trying to do that again. Not even young adult, young teen voice is hard to do. And with that, Mabel gets to work wrestling Gompers into his dress, yelling commands to Dipper to grab Waddles, who thankfully didn't get his bow tie dirty when he dashed away earlier, and get everything ready for the most important ceremony in the history of ever. Maybe an exaggeration, but Mabel's excitement is undoubtedly contagious. Okay, once Dipper finds Waddles, I think we're got everything ready. I am, of course, the Vicar Caterer Proud Mother musical guest combo. Dipper's gonna take pictures for my scrapbook. Hey, I never agreed to that. Dipper, please. I gotta officiate. Do you mean officiate? Officiate? Officiate. God, words. English, Kai. Woo. See? I'm so busy I can't even talk right. Please, Dipper. I'll help you with some nerd thing later. I pinky swear. Dipper contemplates this, hand in chin, mirroring his Grunkle Ford, of course. As long as you actually do this time, then yeah, I'll take pictures. Aww. Yay! I get to work together again. Mabel jumps up and down with excitement, jostling poor Gompers in her arms. Yay! Thank you, Dipper! I owe you one! This is what the best butter looks like right here, Kai. This is what the best butter looks like right here, Kai. God. Oh, the voice hurts so much. Okay, you don't have to do that whole thing again. I'll get back to... Waddles! You get back here! Okay, now that we have that fixed, that means we have... Wait! Seuss left already! My ring bearer's gone! Oh no! What are we gonna do, Gompers? Gompers gives the intelligent answer of bah, chewing on his bridal veil. I could ask them, but I don't know. Gompers chooses that moment to look into Mabel's eyes and bleat at her insistently. Mabel naturally takes this as a sign from Goat. You're right. Of course this is your special day. Again. Oh, I'm ring bearer. Okay. Cool. Mabel turns to you with pleading eyes. I guess we didn't do this. Hey, Kai, could you be the new ring bearer for the ceremony? It would give me no greater honor. I'm very invested in this partnership, Mabel. I gotta see it through. I gotta sit up straight if we're gonna go to a wedding. Gotta be all nice and fancy. Mabel beams, obviously very pleased that you're taking this as seriously as she is. Thank you, Kai! Let's get this show on the road! Or this wedding on the backyard. It still works. It still works. That's it. That's how you do it. Mabel runs back into the house, and you hear her thudding upstairs faster than a hungry Waddles. Gompers, thankfully still occupied by the half a sandwich Mabel taunted him with, stays put. She comes back soon after with a fluffy purple pillow and 2 clear sticks. After snapping the sticks in half, glow sticks. They're glow sticks. She curls them into a small bracelet-sized rings. Cute. Mabel, you don't understand what a real wedding is like, but that's adorable. I'm kind of here for it. These are so much more fun than rings. Plus, Waddles can put it on his tail to look super handsome. Oh, man. It hurts. It hurts more than expected. Ooh. Waddles oinks in agreement. His mad dash out of the house. Oh, in his mad dash out of the house, he lost his top hat. Hold your hands out, palm up, and get down so you're not as tall. They can't put the rings on each other if you're way up there. She's got a point. You duck to your knees in the dirt, and Mabel turns your hands palm up, reverently placing the pillow and the glow stick rings atop them. Okay, Mabel, I'm here with the camera for... Kai, why are you on the ground? You gesture to the happy couple with a wide arc of your arm. They needed a ring bearer. Well, I guess they do. Mabel nods, small hands on her hips. She looks over the wedding scene and mumbles to herself, mentally checking things off a mental checklist. Oof. I think we have... Wait! I forgot the flower petals! I'll be right back. And she's gone again, leaving you alone with a pig groom, a goat bride, and 2 glow stick bands of matrimony. Goatrimony. That kind of works. You decide not to crack that pun on Dipper, who's examining his disposable camera. He pops the back open and sighs, smacking a hand to his forehead. This one's out of film. It must have been the one Mabel used at Candy's party. He looks up at you and shrugs. I'll get one of my spares. Make sure these 2 don't go anywhere, or Mabel will... Well, you know Mabel. You haven't known Mabel as long as Dipper has, but you understand immediately. You're left alone in the backyard with a groom's pig, a bride goat, 2 glow sticks, and a broken disposable camera. While you'd love to say you'd absolutely been in this situation before, you unfortunately have not. I am very happy for you both, Waddles and Gompers. Both animals turn to you, nonchalant of the current state of events. But I can't believe Mabel forgot the flower petals. Jeez. As you go to continue the one-sided conversation between human, goat, and pig, you hear 2 voices coming around from the house. 2 very familiar voices. Listen, Sixer, if you haven't gone off the wobbly junker, the gobble wonker, Stanley, has Zipper really never told you? Then you wouldn't have freaked out the kid at the store we needed, and we have, oh, I don't know, the stuff to fix my house after you got a car stuck in it. God, it's hard to do a Stan voice. It's like gravelly. It's still my house. And besides, if he were a fisherman, he'd needed to know. Both Stan and Ford round the corner to find you sitting on your heels next to Waddles and Gompers, brandishing a pillow and glow sticks in the dirt. The 3 of you stare at each other in silence. Mabel needed a ring bearer for the wedding. It's at that moment that Mabel kicks down the back door, runs to your sides, and throws flower petals atop your head. Ta-da! You blow a flower petal off the tip of your nose and grin at Mabel. I think our bride and groom are ready to renew their vows, don't you? Mabel nods emphatically at you before turning to her grunkles, turning up 100-watt smile. Yes! Grunkle Stan and Grunkle Ford, you guys got back just in time! Just like that, Mabel pushes Stan and Ford towards you and tucks their hands so they sit across from you. Stan complains about his knees, and Ford asks Dipper why the pig and the goat are betrothed. Fits with what you know about both at this point. Mabel makes way with the wedding, and you sit cross-legged, the pillow and the glow stick rings on your lap. Every so often, Mabel stifles a theatrical sob, wiping a very real tear from her eye before she turns to you for the rings. Oh, Mabel, how should the betrothed, wear their rings, since they don't have any ring fingers? Just put them on where you think they fit best. We're gonna put tiaras. It's funny, it's cute. You stand and carefully place one ring atop each animal's head, the kings of Gravity Falls. Aww. Almost immediately after that, both of them shake their heads. And the rings predictably fall off. Maybe not. Aww, they looked cute like that, though. Mabel gasped, eyes wide. Bright eyes wide with an idea. Make them crowns so they can really be royalty. Oh, that's pretty good. Dipper reappears with a new camera, and Mabel throws more flower petals at him. A few get stuck to his fluffy hat, and he rolls his eyes, but retaliates by taking a very close-up picture, the flash temporarily blinding her. Hey, save the film for the renewed leave weds. Oh, God. I need plenty of pictures for my scrapbook. That is a hard thing to say. Jesus, Mabel. You owe me a new camera for this, Mabel. He sounds annoyed, but his fond sibling smile gives him away, and he starts taking pictures of the happy couple, getting odd angles as Mabel pushes them into silly poses. You step away from the scene and go to head back into the house. Being a ring bearer is thirsty work. But Stan and Ford stop you before you make it to the door. Hey, Kai. Thanks for playing along with with the whole wedding thing. We're both glad you're willing to entertain her whenever we're gone. She didn't, make you do it, did she? Oh, she didn't. She needed a ring bearer, so I stepped up to help. I'm being so confused. It's like, what? Why would you do that? Weirdo? I was like, why not? She needed a ring bearer, so I helped. What else are you supposed to do with an adorable kid like that? Stan and Ford arch matching brows at you. I'm very interested in the marriage of a goat and a pig, you know. The three of you laugh, and Stan pats your shoulder. Ford gives you a warm smile. Well, I'm glad you're as into all of that as she is. Thank you for that. Yeah, kid. It's nice to be, nice to her, you know? Nice of you to be nice to her. Ah! Hi! Ford takes a step forward on the patio, peering down at you through his cracked glasses. You'd be somewhat intimidated if it wasn't for the fact that he's blushing. I I appreciate that you occupy the kids for Stanley and I while we were out. Both of them seem to like you being around. Okay, both of them seem to like you being around. You grin at him with a shrug. It's no problem. They're fun to hang out with, even if I'm gonna have some strange photo in Mabel's scrapbook at the end of it. Ford smiles, sweet and almost kind. It's your turn to turn red when he looks at you like that. Ford, make her blush. Ow. Well, if you'll excuse me, I've got things to get back to. Yes. He walks past you and into the house, Stan following soon after. Stan elbows Ford, and it looks like he mutters something to him, but you can't hear what it was. Whatever he said, Ford looks scandalized. Hey, Kai, you're gonna miss the party! We got popsicles! I call the red ones. Pineapple ones are mine. I call dibs. God, I cannot do a Stan voice. I'm gonna try, though. I'm gonna try. Pineapple ones are the best ones. Mabel and Stan wrestle over a yellow popsicle while Dipper contently unwraps a red one, holding it above his head and out of Gomper's way. Ford gingerly picks out a purple ice pot and leaves the ice chest open for you to grab one as well. While Stan and Mabel aren't looking, you hide the pineapple popsicles at the bottom of the chest. Dipper sees and starts laughing, but doesn't tell. They're a strange bunch, these two sets of Pines twins. But they're certainly making your summer a lot more exciting as your stay at the Mystery Shack continues. Your wreck of a car sitting outside in the heat of the setting sun. Cute. A non-specific day of summer, that's funny. My god. You ever have moments in the day where you just kind of feel so tired you want to take a nap? Like, I have those moments, I just never actually take the nap when I want them to. Or at least when I want to, because I'm like, no. See, if I take a nap now, I'm gonna ruin my sleep later. But then, I still never get to sleep on a decent time, so it's like, oh, well, fuck me, I guess. Me try. It's another day of summer, with nothing to do but wait. Your schedule's surprisingly clear today. Ford usually has something going on for you to help, and if not, Stan sues or the kids do. I want to find Ford. I have to find Ford. That's the whole point of I'm doing this. I'm going for Ford. Sorry, Stan. You're great. You're amazing. But you're not the one I want. You pass through the living room, and Mabel spots you from her seat at the table. Hi! I was hoping I'd see you. Come on, I want to ask you something. I'm worried. What do you need, honey? What's going on? Mabel points down at the table with a raspberry pink colored pencil. Her art supplies, scattered across the table, lie across various sheets of paper with brightly colored doodles. And lots of glitter. You see a drawing that looks a cross between Barney and Godzilla. A page full of puppies. A page with a drawing that looks kind of like you with... Is that Ford or Stan? Mabel's not finished with it yet. But the telltale jawline gives it away. You sit down at the table across from Mabel, and suddenly get the same feeling you'd get at the job interview. It's intensified when she pushes her organized chaos of paper aside and steeples her fingers over the table's surface. Hi, I'll be frank. I've been trying to find a match for my grunkles for a while, but I never seem to get their matches made. Sorry, a match? Then it's like you were pulled from thin air, attracted to the shack by a magnet of love. It was a sign, and this week just made the chemistry you share with him obvious. You know who I'm talking about, right? It's only Ford. It's only Ford. I'm like, only really interacted with Ford. That's it. Yes, yes, yes! Grunkle Ford's great with family, but he's still guarded. You're the first new person I've seen him actually get interested in. Maybe if you get to know him, he'll see that social interactions aren't hard. And maybe love was on his horizon all along. Love? That's a jump, to say the least. And anyway, though you've had the chance to share some quality time with Ford, you still feel like there's a huge part of his story that you're missing. How much do you even know about him anyway? And why do you want to know so much more? Mabel, Ford and I haven't spent all that much time together. Sure, we shared a couple of adventures, but nothing. Adventures are perfect bonding material. I know that firsthand. But you know what would really get this chemistry going? And talking to him? No. What? No. I'm thinking something more romantic. Hold on. I'm getting an idea. I'll get everything ready. Kai, you just focus on falling completely and utterly in love. Matchmaker Mabel is back in the game. I'm worried. I'm very concerned now. Just as you exit the talk with Mabel, you run into Dipper right outside the living room. And it doesn't seem like an accident either. His arms are crossed, and he's looking at you dubiously. So, I heard about Mabel's plan. How do you... Just left the room. Yeah, well, word travels fast, and Mabel sends out mass update texts. Oh, Dipper, I'm not gonna hurt either of your grunkles. Please believe me, I just want what's best. Just want to see where it's going, you know? Surely you can understand, right? His defensive posture softens a bit. Just tell me one thing. I know my grunkles can look after themselves, but can you promise me you won't hurt Grunkle Ford? You can trust me. Okay, Kai. I'm remembering that. A text notification sounds and Jipper checks his phone. And be ready at any time. For your date with Grunkle Ford? Ugh, this feels awkward enough. No offense, Kai. It's just, my Grunkle Ford's actually going on a date? Do old people even date? It's kind of hard to wrap my head around. I hope Mabel doesn't ask me for my help tomorrow. I mean, I'm having enough trouble trying to date for myself. Dipper, honey. You don't have to try so hard. It'll just happen, you know? You are an adorable kid. I remember when this show came out. Yeah, Dipper, easily like a fictional character crush. Right there. But we're not dating any of the younger Pines twins. We're dating the older ones. So let's go. Mabel calls down from upstairs. Hey, Dip Dop! I'm gonna need your help tomorrow! Well, never mind. During the next few days, you, Ford, and Dipper get further into the D&D&MD campaign you left off on, and you have time to flesh out Alex to uh, complement Tyros and Viren on the team. Dipper tells you that the three-person trope is typically small for a D&D&MD group, but you've been getting the hang of the game, mostly taking advantage of Ford's helpful nudges in the right direction. You've noticed Ford staring at you during the game sometimes, and you can't deny that you've been caught doing the same. After your fateful chat with Mabel, you're on edge in wait for her to pull something out of her sleeve. Every time she bursts into a room with a fistful of crayons, you jump at least a foot in the air. But you've been doing your best to pretend everything's normal. Or, at least, as normal as it gets in Gravity Falls. You ventured out into town earlier today and did some tourist-worthy exploring, and ran into the Pines family at Greasy's Diner about an hour later. According to a giddy Dipper and an exasperated Ford, a door to another plane had appeared in the fridge instead of food. Post-documentation and inspection, and a lot of skeptical squinting from Dipper and complaints from Stan, Ford had suggested they all just wait it out. It was gone by the time you got back. You secretly hoped to catch a glimpse, but when you asked Ford about it, he reassured you it was nothing special. Wouldn't have even ranked among his top 10, he said, pushing his glasses up his nose. After that series of fridge-related events, the shack felt quiet. Dipper ventured out with his camera equipment, off to film something amazing, and stands in his office checking in with his sources. Whatever that means. That leaves you and Ford both intently reading on the shack's patio. It's warm and comfortable, yet the overhang shields your light from the blinding summer sunlight. You glance over at Ford. He looks calm and collected, same as he's been all week. Conversely, you've been a little nervous around him ever since Mabel's matchmaking interview. It's not that you haven't thought of him in that light before. It's that you never planned on actually trying it out. You can always ask Mabel to call off the matchmaking thing. After spending the past couple of days convinced Mabel was going to spring an unavoidable romantic situation on you at a moment's notice, you'd rather not live with that kind of anxious anticipation. You settle back into your book, a paperback Ford lent you. It's a jargon-heavy sci-fi with an abstract cover that you probably would have overlooked on a bookshelf, and you think you're about to see the first glimpse of a plot after a 3-chapter introduction. Geez, 3 chapters? No. 3 chapters is pushing it, y'all. That's too much. Whipping Up Some Romance is the name of this. Cool. You go to turn the page of your book, but the back door slams open. Mabel explodes onto the porch, armed with oven mitts and an apron. Kai, Grunkle Ford, I need help, and I need it now! Ford sits up with a wide-eyed look, fixing his glasses that had been startled off the bridge of his nose. What is it? Is something burning? Is something burning in the kitchen? I need help baking. Ford relaxes enough to leave a bookmark in his dog-eared novel and close it, but looks to Mabel with an air of bewilderment. Brenda's throwing a... Oh, fuck. I'm not even gonna try. That's gonna be hard for me to say. What? Grub dich fassen Hausenfressen. I think. I said that wrong. I definitely said that wrong. Please forgive me. I don't know how that's meant to be pronounced. Can I copy and paste that? Maybe. I don't know. Party for Marius when he comes to visit, and I volunteered to make cupcakes. I was like, yeah, I can totally make a batch of cupcakes. But as it turns out, smoke unfurls from the back doorway. Jesus. How do you mess up cupcakes that badly? Smoke unfurls from the back doorway, inevitably followed by the screech of the fire alarm inside. Mabel wrings her mitted hands and winces guiltily. I can't. Okay. Mabel rushes back into the house, you and Ford coming close after. You reach the door in time to see Ford, unruffled, and drag a chair over to the smoke alarm and disable it as easy as flipping a light switch. Okay. That? Damn. You're just like, I got it. Just bam. Okay, we love a handyman. Why? The idea of like someone disarming or at least disabling a fire alarm that quickly, like it's a normal occurrence. I'm not gonna lie, kind of hot. What's wrong with me? I mean, a lot of things, but Ford. Go on. As for the smoke, you go straight for the kitchen window and open it, fanning the smoke out of the house. Mabel looks guiltily at you both, attempting to waft the smoke out with her oven mitts. Now that you really look at her, you notice there's flour on her sweater, the kitchen floor, and the kitchen counter, leading to one lopsided bag of flour surrounded by a similar mess of ingredients. Looks like you can use a hand. Mabel, why didn't you ask for help much sooner? I'm sorry, Grunkle Ford. I wanted to make them myself. She wilts under exasperated despair. I need these cupcakes, and I need your help. She points at Ford. And your help. Mabel then moves her pointer finger to you. Oh dear. Both of you absolutely need to help me with this. This is what she was planning to do all along, wasn't she? It's okay. I'm kind of here for it. I like a little baking date. It's cute. She looks between the two of you with those Mabel patented puppy dog eyes. Whatever will you had left to resist crumbles immediately. You pat her shoulder reassuringly. It's all right, Mabel. Baking is a difficult art, and even professionals have off days. And, you glance at the oven that's still leaking lingering smoke. I think adult supervision might be good right now. Mabel nods, looking between you and Ford. Well, it'll be easy peasy with you and Grunkle Ford helping me. You look to Ford, and Ford just looks questioningly at Mabel. Why would you need both of us, Mabel? Because we need to make a bajillion of these. So many. This will be a huge party. Plus, the more people that make them, the more love these cupcakes will have. There needs to be so much love in these cupcakes. That doesn't... Please, Grunkle Ford. You and Kai are super conveniently the only ones who can help me. Maybe Dipper? He's out filming. He won't be back until sunset. It's gotta be you two. This is a smart plan. Let me just get some water. Let's get some hydration nations going on. Alright. Ford glances hopelessly out to the hallway for one moment, and Mabel gives you a conspiratorial wink while he's not looking. And then it dawns on you. This is your match-made date with Ford. Is it getting hot in here, or is it just the oven? It might be both. Whew. It certainly is quite warm, quite sweaty right now, but we continue on. Well, please, Grunkle Ford. Kai's already gonna help out, right, Kai? Yes, that's what I want. Heart picking up its pace, you hazard a look at Ford to find him looking oddly contemplative now compared to before. He looks to you for a fleeting moment. You catch out of the corner of your eye. His attention's back on Mabel by the time you register it. And Ford nods at her. Alright, what do we need to do? Yes. Okay, first rule of baking, wear an apron. There's never a wrong time to make a fashion statement. Mabel holds two aprons out, one scarlet red and the other white. Okay, I guess I get the red one. You have absolutely no idea when Mabel even retrieved these aprons in the first place, but she's already picked who gets which one. The red apron is tossed to you, and the white one is tossed to Ford. You put it on and look down at yourself to read an upside-down "Burn, Baby Burn" printed across your chest, with a picture of a fiery grill underneath it. Well, beneath it. Fittingly, it smells a little like burning. Ford's apron has some green text you didn't quite catch, as he loops it over his head and ties it. No, but as he loops it over his head and ties it, you can read it clearly. You stifle a laugh as you read, the text now clear over his broad chest. My other oven is a Bunsen. Hey Ford, are you made of copper and I was like, hey Ford, are you made of copper and tellurium? Because copper is Cu and tellurium is Te. Are you cute? It only takes a second for Ford to flush pink with understanding, fiddling with the hem of his apron. It's cute. Okay. Okay, Mabel. What's our next step? The second rule in baking is to know your recipe. It's got everything. The ingredients, the instructions, the temperature. Ford looks to the counter and picks up a piece of paper. You guess it's the recipe, judging by the frilly-looking photo of a 3-tiered cake on the back. He scans over the ingredients, focus. And the third rule in baking is to forget your recipe. That's only if rule 2 doesn't work out. How are we looking, Grunkle Ford? I was worried we'd be short on sugar, but I think we'll make it. There are ingredients listed here that aren't even on the counter. Mabel laughs loudly and attempts to clap Ford on the shoulder. She only manages to reach his elbow, and you suddenly suspect that whatever baked good Mabel had burned in the oven earlier was a fabricated failure. You glance at the oven. You glance at the stovetop. The open box of store-bought cookies sitting on top confirms your suspicion. Oh, Grunkle Ford, you tell the best jokes! That wasn't a joke. Oh, look! We need flour, and I already have that out. Next. Ford reads the list of ingredients aloud, and Mabel darts around the kitchen, gathering them as he calls them out. You set to work finding the utensils Mabel needs, skirting through unfamiliar drawers she points out to you. After opening nearly every cupboard, You come up with an array of mismatched measuring cups, 2 half teaspoons, and a dented tablespoon. Good enough. How many cupcakes do you need for tomorrow, Mabel? At least 100. You give her an undisguised look of incredulity. I don't know how to say that. And Mabel sends back a series of gestures telling you to go along with it, and pointing to Ford's thoughtful face and pointing, he. It's like, he bought it! So, since the recipe makes 20 to 25, we quintuple the recipe, right? Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. If we play our cards right, we could get an exact 120, making full use of the cupcake pan each time. You're bewildered that Ford doesn't question the quantity. Instead, he's starting to factor how many acceptable cupcake pans he could find in the cupboards, grumbling as he searches through clangs and dull thuds of other bakeware. Oof. When was the last time Stanley... Ah, there they are. Looks like we have one that's rusted and one that hasn't. I get the pan that's already in the oven. If we manage to clean it, no. Definitely uncleanable. It's totally burnt, batter everywhere. Kai, can you... Mabel makes gestures of disposing evidence of her baking failure, and you wince, but nod. Seizing your chance while Ford's back is turned, you open the oven, grab whatever's inside with the oven mitt, and rush outside to drop it in the trash can midway around the shack. It turns out to be a couple of store-bought cookies dropped in a muffin pan and left to burn to a crisp. You shake the cookies out into the trash, leaving you with a still hot but perfectly serviceable pan. We're gonna call it a miracle. We're gonna call it a miracle. Because I'm like, if it still works, why not? We're just gonna call it a miracle. You return to the kitchen. Look, the pan is actually fine. How lucky. Ford gives Mabel a musing look. Yes, how fortunate. Mabel gives Ford a winning smile, which must be enough because Ford lights up with a smile soon after, shaking his head fondly. You see that Ford has brought a mixing bowl out while you were gone, and wiped away most of the excess flour from the counter. He settles back into the role of recipe reader now that you're back. I've already turned down the oven to the correct temperature. Mabel notably, doesn't look sheepish in the slightest, still grinning in front of the mixing bowl. So our next step is to add butter. I'll measure it out. And so you settle into a rhythm. Ooh, rhythm. Mabel measures ingredients and tosses them in. Ford reads out the recipe, pausing occasionally to balance out Mabel's haphazard method of throwing ingredients into the bowl. You mix everything into a suitable batter. 2 ingredients later, and you notice that Ford rolled up his sleeves to his elbows as he works. You get used to the sight of him like this. I was like, oh, we saw his forearms, ladies. Woo! You don't notice Ford returning your stare until he clears his throat. Apparently, your ogling lasted just a moment too long. Kai? Yeah? I just added the first cup of flour. You can stir it in now. Oh, Right. Ford adds another cup as you stir the ingredients together, trying to ignore how red your face feels. Aw, look at you two, working so well together. It's like you don't even need me to be perfect. You know she's talking about matchmaking, but Ford doesn't take it that way. That's not entirely accurate. You're an essential member of our baking trio. After all, who else is creative enough to come up with a unifying theme for all these cupcakes? Oh, fuck. Okay. You're right! I haven't even thought about that yet! Mabel, standing on a chair next to Ford to reach the counter, hops up and sits at the edge of the counter. Lovey-dovey or lovey-dovey? I can't decide! While Mabel works it out with her creative genius, Ford scoops out the last cup of flour, going to wipe the excess back into the flour with his finger. Wait! I have the perfect idea! She lifts her head in triumph and promptly sends Ford's heaped cup of flour flying. Ford fumbles to catch it but ultimately fails, and the cup, along with the bag, fall into the mixing bowl, sending a mushroom cloud of flour into your faces. Flour cakes Ford's glasses, along with his nose, cheeks, and forehead, and the front of his hair, to the point where the color is indistinguishable from his usual streak of gray. Mabel, thankfully sitting to the side at her perch on the counter, only got half covered in the explosion of flour, even though she's already got various spots of flour all over her sweater. Oops. It's okay, Mabel. Here, take this and dust the flour off. Mabel attempts to brush the flour off her sweater as Ford takes off his glasses, blowing puffs of white from the lenses and wiping them clean with the hem of his turtleneck. He manages to clear off most of the flour from his skin, but he missed a spot. Ford? I'm fine. I've had many messier adventures in my time than a bit of flour. No, that's not it. We're gonna brush it out himself. You reach over to brush it out. Ford gives you an uncertain expression, but stands still, letting you make contact. Sorry, I keep having to check something. It's fine. Your fingers only run through his hair for a second, but it was enough time for you to register how fluffy and flowery it is. You can't help the smile that tugs at your lips as you finish. You just had some flour there. Did I? Mabel stopped dusting herself off and is now looking between you and Ford with such anticipation that you're getting self-conscious under her attention. Ford seems to notice too, as he takes an unnecessary step back and awkwardly clears his throat. Oh, right, flour. Mistake. Let's fix it. The three of you take a moment to stare at the disaster stone on the counter. Looks like the only thing we can do now is guess how much flour was added and scale the rest of the ingredients to match it? I was going to start over, but it's a brilliant idea, Kai. Let's do it. Mabel, do you have another bowl for this operation? Good thing I found this mega big bowl for mixing. Mabel presents a vessel more akin to a tub than a mixing bowl. It's clean though, and Ford transfers the batter over. Good call, Mabel. Are you secretly a psychic? Nope! It's just a little thing I like to call the power of Mabel! I love her so much. She does exaggerated jazz hands, shaking off more flour in the process. The three of you laugh before beginning the post-flower mission. Due to the mishap, you now need 4 times the ingredients to match the flour that got dumped into the bowl. An inconvenience, but not impossible. As you measure out more flour, you spot Ford adding to the bowl by cracking 2 eggs at a time in each hand. Show off. The kitchen is quiet during the bustle of measuring, adding, and remixing, but after a comfortable minutes, Mabel sighs. What's up, Mabel? I don't know, Kai. It feels silly to talk about. Nothing is too silly. Well, that's a broad statement, but the point is we're willing to listen. Well, Brenda and Marius are throwing this party on Marius's yacht, right? You have no idea who either of these people are, but play along for Mabel's sake. Yeah? And they're really getting into that romance zone. Brenda even told me that they kissed. Ford only gives a mild acknowledgement, so you have to amp up the reaction zone. They did not. They did so! Can you believe that? I seriously cannot believe that. Ford looks lost as he continued to mix the batter together. And I'm really happy for Brenda. I am. But sometimes I feel a little jealous. Brenda's like one of my best friends. I don't get why I can't just be happy with her without feeling this way. Oh, honey. You should have to let that feeling simmer inside of you. That's bad advice. Everyone feels like that sometimes. All you can do is try your best to stay positive for her, even if you're feeling a little bitter inside. And just know that, eventually, this feeling will pass. Really, everyone gets this way, even with friends. It doesn't mean you're a bad friend or anything. Thanks, Kai. And anyway, if this is about the romance, Mabel, you're only a teenager. You might feel like you're watching your friends get married and settle down so quickly, but that doesn't start happening until you get to 25. You're a wonderful girl. You're smart, pretty, and you can, probably, make a mean batch of cupcakes. I know that whoever you end up loving will be lucky to have you, and that perfect relationship will come your way. In time. Mabel seems to brighten and she smiles at you gratefully. Then she looks thoughtful. Getting married. I wonder when someone I know will get married. She's non-specific, but Ford pointedly coughs into his fist. Wait! We need to make these cupcakes extra special before we can bake them. I thought we already were. Weren't we going to split this into 3 parts, add food coloring, and marble them in? No, that's just special. I'm thinking extra special. I'm thinking explosion rocks. You mean that tiny candy that makes your mouth all tingly? Exactly! I'm gonna go grab my supply. Mabel dashes out to get the candy, leaving you and Ford alone in the kitchen. Oh, look at the picture, guys! It's so cute. His hair is so fluffy and scraggly. This is such a cute picture. I love it. Love it. Normally, you would expect the atmosphere to turn awkward, but you find yourself anticipating something instead. You give Ford a smile. Good job calculating how much we needed to salvage the cupcakes. Ford laughs, leaning back against the counter. Oh, I just eyeballed it and adjusted based on the batter's apparent viscosity. No calculation involved. And, well, I couldn't let all our hard work go to waste after you suggested salvaging it. I don't get it. You wanted to start over? Well, Well, I had a whole plan in mind. We were going to quintuple the recipe, and now it's more like octuple. But I think this was the better route to take. Now that I think about it, that was the last of our flour. Wait, damn. Stanley needs flour for pancakes this week. Would he take cupcakes for breakfast instead? We're gonna have plenty of extra. Knowing him, I think the probability is very high. Aw. You were going to say something else, leaning in to continue the conversation when Mabel re-enters the room. She's carrying a cardboard box stuffed to the brim with bright packets of explosion rocks. Okay, Pop Rocks, let's go. I'm back! Alright, let's add these puppies in and make some cupcake magic! You and Ford start helping Mabel to can the explosion rocks into the batter. Alright. Ford glances at you as you shake the last packet into the bowl. Both of you know that the consumer of these cupcakes will get an unpleasant surprise from them exploding in their mouth, especially since the multicolored candy makes the batter look like unassuming funfetti cupcakes. Then it's time to split the batter and marble them in the pan. The three colors Mabel chose are deep purple, blue, and pink. She chose the bicolor flag? Like the bicolors? Really? Okay. I love that for her, but like, oh wow, we're just making bi flags. Well, bi cupcakes, nice. Which she says ties perfectly with her theme. So, are you gonna tell us what the theme is yet? They're bi cupcakes. They're bi cupcakes. That's it. Nope. Let's get these in the oven. Okay. I'm pretty sure we just made bi cupcakes. If it's purple, blue, and pink. Just saying. Okay. Ford picks up both pans and sticks them in the oven to bake. There's still plenty of batter in the mixing bowl. You've barely skimmed the surface with the first batch. You and Ford share another look. Alright, it's time for the best part! Frosting! What kind do we have? It's not the kind do we have, it's the kind we're making! Oh my god. Mabel presents another recipe card. Oh geez. Thankfully, the frosting is easier to make than the batter. And by the time you and Mabel separate the sugary result into a few different bowls for coloring, the first batch of cupcakes came out of the oven 10 minutes ago and have cooled down on the counter. As Mabel puts it, they're ready to be Mabelified. Ford grins at her as he starts dyeing a bowl of icing bright pink. Decorating the cupcakes is, by far, the most fun part of the afternoon. The three of you sit around the kitchen table. Mabel purposely sits you and Ford next to each other, while she takes the remaining spot, and you use the different frosting tips to make designs on all of the cupcakes. She had finally revealed her theme to be outer space, because space is full of romance, and this way I can say their compatibility is out of this world. So the three of you covered marbled cupcakes in a galaxy-worthy combinations of colored frosting. Ford, to put it simply, is delighted by the theme. You're pretty sure the constellations he painstakingly iced on his last 25 cupcakes would pass as illustrations in a stargazer's guide. In the middle of completing a second Orion, Ford gets some icing on his face. A drip of blue somehow made it onto his chin, probably from testing the icing to make sure it tasted good. It did, of course. Mabel kicks you from under the table. Ow? Shh. Oh no. Alright, fine. I see what I have to do. I see what I have to do, and it's fine. Hopefully it's not going to be too awkward. Let's see. And she nods her head at her grungle, giving you a meaningful look that Ford completely misses. He wipes most of it off, but now there's a streak of blue on his cheek, so I'll wipe it off for him. Mabel watches you both expectantly, but you aren't sure you have the guts to do what she really wants to have happen. And besides, you're not sure Ford's ready for that. You opt for plan B instead. Here, I'll get it. You reach over with a napkin to gently wipe the streak away, hoping he doesn't notice how your hand shakes with nerves from the close proximity. Ford is also hyper aware of how close the two of you are now, and you can't ignore how his gaze drops from his eyes to your lips as you inch closer to wipe the icing away. There, I got it. Ford's cheeks almost match his sweater. Oh, thank you, Kai. Eventually, the three of you finish decorating over 100 cupcakes. Jesus. Whew. Looking at them all lined up on the counter, you can really see the decline in quality as you, Ford, and Mabel got worn out. The last few have frosting and solid colors, just a handful of star-shaped sprinkles on top. I can't believe we're finally done. And yes, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I've had enough of the night sky to last me the rest of the week. Oh, but we're not done. Mabel sounds just about Mabel sounds about as peppy as she has all day, even though she must be as tired as you and Ford. There's just one last thing to do. Clean up? Because we made a huge mess here. No, Grunkle Ford. More important than that. More urgent and more desperately needed. Ford looks perplexed. What could that be? The glitter. Oh my god. Mabel pulls a sizable tub of blue edible glitter. My god. That had been sitting in the back corner of the counter for, you're guessing, the whole afternoon you've been in there. Unscrewing the lid reveals its sparkly, shiny contents. Each of you grab handfuls of glitter, sprinkling liberally over each cupcake. The only person who seems to be hesitating is Ford. He keeps stopping to attempt glitter gradients in order to keep his earlier icing work clear of glitter. Aw, poor Ford. Mabel always comes in after him, though, and fills in the blanks so the whole thing sparkles. Soon enough, the tub is left nearly empty. Great! All of these are for the party. Except this one's for Dipper, and this one's for Grunkle Stan, this one's for Waddles. Mabel puts the exceptions aside, and in the end, the three of you grab a cupcake each, as a reward for an afternoon's hard work. And you tap them together in a pseudo toast and absolutely devour them. The cupcake tastes odd, but that's what makes it amazing. That's probably the explosion remarks. You detect, a faint spice of love and adoration. A good, if not perfect, cupcake. The remaining cupcakes are strategically fitted into the pantry among the cheese boodles and various other snack foods, ready to be brought to the party tomorrow afternoon. Mabel stretches and yawns dramatically before grabbing the plate of cupcakes that had been set aside. Well, I better get these over to the boys. You know how Grunkle Stan gets when he smells something cooking and doesn't get a taste. Okay, you're not quite sure you do, but Ford nods knowingly, so it must be true. Anyway, I'll leave you two lovebirds alone. Thanks for the help, and you're welcome for my help. Oh god, Mabel. Don't make this awkward by pointing it out. Hun. No. Mabel sends a wink and a finger gun as she leaves. Your heart freezes in your chest as Ford looks at Mabel's exit with an unreadable look, then faces you. You see, I know what's going on. This isn't the first time Mabel's tried to find my match. You can't find the words to express your mixture of relief and confusion. Ford explains. I suppose she's at that age where kids are thinking about romance and dating. Stanley and I are just two of her recent subjects for these compatibility experiments. Last time Mabel reached out to Mermando to set me up with a merman. She didn't tell me what kind of situation it was, so I unknowingly grilled him with enough scientific queries about merpeople to send him back underwater with a grumpy burble. Ford gives you a small, genuine smile. But I can't say it's all been bad. After all, I haven't managed to repeat that kind of mistake here yet. I haven't managed to repeat that kind of mistake yet here. So how do you think this match is going? Ford shrugs, though he's sporting a light blush. I think this one has potential. You both look around at the disaster scene of a kitchen. Since Mabel conveniently had other things to do, she left you and Ford with the task of cleaning everything. Ford rolls his sleeves up and adjusts his glasses. Come on, let's get this kitchen cleaned up. Ah! We're up again! I'm excited! Alright. How long have I been streaming? Oh, okay, not bad. I wonder how long this game is. I'm gonna continue. We'll see how long I get, or at least until I get tired. But we'll see. You don't think you've ever been more nervous in your life. Oh no. Mabel came with you yesterday when you went shopping for extra clothes since Stan's mechanic skills left your car still being worked on, and you realized you needed more clothes than you packed. However, she managed to sneak in a relatively fancy set of clothes to add to your pile of summer-appropriate clothing, and she flourishes them in your direction with a wide, brace-faced grin. Ta-da! For tonight! Oh god. You stare at the fancy outfit like it's gonna jump out of Mabel's hands and attack you. Mabel, are you sure Ford agreed to this? I am very worried about how this is gonna go. Of course he did! I asked him and everything. He dropped whatever he was working on instantly. And it hit other stuff on his desk when it fell to the floor. And he said, I'd love to, but I'll need a fashion makeover. Please help me, Mabel. You're my favorite great niece. Okay, so he actually said something else, but he said yes at the end of it. Now, come on. I have to put the finishing touches on this perfect date. Get dressed, then come to the living room. She shoves the clothes at you and leaves you in the room to get yourself ready. What do I do? I'm so nervous. You put on the outfit Mabel picked out for you and head to the living room, where Dipper promptly guards the way to the kitchen with his noodle arms. Mabel wants me to keep you in here until Great Uncle Ford is ready. Oh, okay then. I'll stay here. You take a seat in Stan's recliner, trying to look relaxed and composed, but your shaking hands give you away to Dipper, who's reading in front of the door. You look nice. I know Mabel picked it and kind help, but it's nice. He's trying to distract you, sweet kid. You smile at him. He smiles back before returning to his book, The Field Guide to Bigfoot. Oh God, I'm nervous. Kai! You can come in now! You jolt to your feet, heart in your throat. Got any advice, Dipper? Dipper stands up and awkwardly pats your hand. Just be yourself, Kai. Great Uncle Ford likes you. I can tell. Trust me. He gently shoves you towards the kitchen door. It looms in front of you menacingly. Now go get him, Tiger. Is that weird to say? Good luck out there. Dating my great uncle. Gross. Anyway. With surprising strength, Dipper pushes you through the door as Mabel opens it. And you stumble into the kitchen and look up and... Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh. Oh God, Ford's dressed up too. And he's in a three-piece suit with a maroon necktie. How did Mabel know your only weakness? Well, that and... Wait. He has flowers. You make eye contact before examining one another, and you feel your face flush as red as his. Mabel beams, clapping her little hands together. Yay! Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. The Mabel certified dinner date of dreams. I knew Grunkle Ford would be hopeless on a romantic dinner date on his own, so I'm here to make this one perfect. You only now notice that she's wearing a bright pink apron and that something smells very burnt. Mabel? Dipper pushes you further into the kitchen, and Mabel shoves Ford forward. The two of you stumble, almost into colliding with one another. Ford straightens up and clears his throat. His face is as red as his tie. Well, these are for you, Kai. You take a closer look at the bouquet and discover that the third of the bouquet are real flowers. They look to have been picked from outside the shack. Another third are pipe cleaner flowers with glittery pedestals. And another third are origami lilies. That's really cute. Judging by both Ford and Dipper's paper cuts and Mabel's sparkly sticky fingers, they collaborated to make your bouquet themselves. This is the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life. How many paper cuts did you guys get from these? Ford laughs, rubbing the back of his neck with his free hand as you take the flowers from him. Quite a lot, unfortunately. Mabel found a tutorial on the line. Online, Grunkle Ford, online! Isn't that what I said? And Dipper and I worked on them yesterday. They're beautiful, Ford. Thank you. Ford blushes, grinning bashfully at you. And Dipper, of course. Dipper smiles at you too, but with an awkward laugh. Dipper takes the flowers off of you and manages to stuff the bouquet in an empty 2-liter bottle of pit, sticking it in the middle of the table, so you can't see Ford anymore once you sit down. You carefully scoot the vase over to the side until Ford's pink cheeks and nervous expression are visible again, even if you're certain you look even more pink with embarrassment. Well, I'll leave you guys to it then. Chef Mabel, are you ready? Sure I am, bro. So ready. All right. So, I will save that. I like having like the save as many times as possible. So, I think I'm leaving it here for today. Thank you guys for coming. I do appreciate you all so much. Oh, let me get that down. Right. I'm actually getting quite tired and it is getting kind of late for me right now. So, thank you guys for coming to today's stream. I do love and appreciate you all so much. Genuinely, I so grateful that yes, I know this is free and pretty much anyone can do it. Thank you for giving me the chance to do this. Never felt happier in my life than like weirdly doing this. So, thank you all so much. If you haven't hit the follow button already and you'd like to, please consider hitting the follow button. Right now, thankfully, we're at 40 followers. Our next follower goal, as you can see up here, is 45 followers. Now, at 45 followers over here on Twitch, we are going to be doing a sort of arts and crafts type of stream. I have a Lego baggie that I'm gonna a Lego baggie off to the side that we're gonna build together. It's a Star Wars thing. I think an X-wing. Build that together. I do have some bookmarks that we're gonna, decorate together with some diamonds. So it should be fun. It should be a fun stream. Again, only happening at 45 followers. And our ultimate goal of this year is to try to at least hit 50 followers. So, because at 50, whoever is going to be here in chat, you guys can decide what we do. It's probably just going to be like a just chatting stream, but I'll let you guys decide what you want to do, but only at 50. If you're watching, well, if you want to see other streams that I've done, or generally anything else that I've done, you can follow me over on YouTube at Kai_OMI. All the VODs are posted onto there almost immediately after a stream is done. If you're watching over on YouTube, thank you so much. Please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. Trying to reach that. Don't really know what goals I have for YouTube yet, but I swear one of these days, YouTube will have more stuff than just the streams. But that's it for now. If you want to see what others, follow me on other social media platforms I have. They're all linked in my bio. I have TikTok at Kai_OMI. I mostly mess around with TikTok filters, occasional mini vlogs, mystery unboxing, shopping hauls, just whenever something happens. You can follow me over on Instagram. It's at Funkos_OMI. I post about my Funko Pop collection, occasional repost from TikTok, just because why not? If you're feeling a little spicy and you want to see an account I don't really post from, but I still have, you can follow me over on Tumblr at Kai-OMI. Obviously, YouTube for the VODs, and if you'd like, you can click the button to join the Discord. Not a lot of us are on there, but hey, join Kai's Freedom Fighters. Thank you again to BCD for creating that. You are absolutely amazing. Yeah, you can self promote on there. You can just talk to everybody else who's in there. It's a fun place to be. I'm gonna put the music on. Thank you guys for coming to today's stream. Really love and appreciate you all so much. We are so close to our next goal. Very excited to see what happens. We are probably going to continue swooning over stands. At least until this follower goal is hit, or at least until we finish the game. So, thank you guys again for coming. Love and appreciate you all so much. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, guys. Bye. Bye.